And that's the kind of stand all defenses are seeking. 3rd and goal, backs against the wall, and they get a monster sack, and now they're going to force them into a field goal. For them, that's a win.
And Catanzaro's kick is right through, and that stretches this lead even further. It's now 24-0. So the drive stalls out, but they are able to put 3 points on the board.
Yeah, just a yard or two shorter than an extra point, so no problems converting there.
Now after the made field goal, Catanzaro to boot this one away on the kickoff. This one taken from the 7. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Here he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. In second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to disperse it a little bit. Lean on some other people, lean on your teammates. Find someone who can take the pressure off and get the ball in their hands for a while.
Or this, if he doesn't, this is getting out of hand, or it could get worse. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And they get the football. They'll set up shop at their own 49-yard line.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
Now Perkins. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he'll be out of bounds, able to take this one down to the 20-yard line. 31 yards there and a first down.
Well, partner, I have to say they called him in the right defense there. Nickel set, 5th defensive back on the field, and they love to run against that because now you typically get a bigger blocker on a smaller defender.
Yeah, because those DBs like you, they want the interception. They're not as worried about the running play, right?
Not at all. And I still remember being in school, and one of my offensive line teammates used to say, boy, I'd love to come downfield and hit you little people.
Good run there. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. 58 to go in this first half of play. Back to CenturyLink Field after this. A reminder that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll check in with Larry Ridley in Orlando with highlights and analysis of this first half of play.
And I'm going to check in with a heater.
I'm going to be right there with you, partner. So now it's 1st and goal. Wilson now. From the gun, he'll throw. His pass caught at the 4. And inside the 5 here before he's out of bounds, right at the 3. A gain of 7 that time. 2nd goal.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part of
end zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. He's having a nice little first half for your partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Point after now from Catanzaro. And the lead will grow by 1 more. So that drive, 4 plays. And the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. and zero out now as he'll kick this one away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Odell Beckham now marching back onto the field. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? Second quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us, but sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to take what you want, and that means getting him the football.
Yeah, so far just a single catch in this game. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle.
Let's go.
Back to throw here. Sets up the screen to Gordon. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. And now the Seahawks are going to take a timeout here on defense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense.
A nickel look by Seattle on third down.
Yep, 5 defensive backs now.
Here we go now. 3-19.
A toss play, Gordon. And he's going to lose yardage here, back to his own 18. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Here's Brad Nortman now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. This is taken at the 23. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And he's found the end zone twice, and now I'm guessing he's thinking, hey, let's find it 3 times.
And you got to figure from the defensive perspective,
they'll throw on first down with Wilson. A dump off to the flat for Perkins. A big play there just before halftime. 43 yards.
the best passing attacks in the NFL often incorporate the guys out of the backfield catching the football. And that's what we just got on that play. As a primary receiver, not always just a check down, not always a safety valve. Sometimes they just get it to him right away because they have the matchup advantage.
Red zone opportunity. From the red zone now, here's Wilson on first down. His throw caught at about the 5. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. It's a really nice 15-yard pickup, and now it's first and goal.
Now, that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. Now it's Wilson. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown.
Coach talked about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Catanzaro now for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Catanzaro out now as he'll kick this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Here now, time to discuss Odell Beckham Jr. They've got to find a way to get him more involved in this game plan. Down here in the second quarter, he doesn't even have a catch.
And don't think they're not hearing about it in the huddle and on the sidelines. And we often think of wide receivers at times being disruptive. It's just that they know their talents and they know the type of plays they can make, and they can make big ones. They want the ball to help their team.
Yeah, you got to think he's going to want the ball more. One target, no catches. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
Thanks, Brandon, and welcome to the EA Halftime Report. Let's take a look back at the first half. The Seahawks are simply running the show in the first half. They've controlled the game and are way out in front. The Rams have an uphill battle in front of them, but will try to claw back in this one. All right, let's roll the highlights. Now after the fumble, Perkins has got fantastic blocking up front, and he'd go in for the 22-yard touchdown. That puts them on top by 14. Now 1st and 10, Perkins is going to bust out into open space, and he'll take this all the way for a touchdown. 1st and 10, the hurry throw would be picked off. Chancellors is the one who makes the pick, halting the offense's drive. Offense on the field now after the pick. The catch is made after a quick pass, and this play will go for 6. The Seahawks continue to dominate. Seahawks now lead.
And we've seemingly lost communication with Larry. Good news, though, both teams somehow already back on the field and ready for the third quarter. This one fielded at the 5. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. Second quarter in Cleveland, and the Bengals out to the early advantage. And we'll keep you abreast of how that one shakes out. And the Rams now coming out on the field. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think they were just bad plays to call? Yeah. We'll find out pretty quickly here if they felt like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. Give him 30 yards there.
As we continue to advance in the NFL, as people continue to scout players, they really don't care as much about body types as they care about those guys who can make people miss, run through tackles, and gain all that additional run after catch. Anybody who has that ability, they want them on their team.
Here we go now.
Now Gordon on first down. They'll get only a couple down to the 44.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. Play clock winding down. Boy, and now they can't even get a play off.
Delay of game, offense.
So that'll back them up 5.
Still second down.
The play clock's running down. Fourth quarter, by the way, in that game in Cleveland. And that is now a 2-touchdown lead for the Browns in that game. If they can hold on, the win.